All right, so here it is. This is my computer that I built. A few people have asked for this, and I wasn't thinking when I built mine. So I got this light clipped onto my phone so everybody can see it. All right, so what we got, I'll go over the parts. Those are the parts there. So we've got the NZXT H700i in matte white. I chose that case for a couple reasons. One, the tempered glass side panel. The bitchin' cable management bar that runs up there with the white accent on it, which is awesome. And then it's got a slot in it for mounting a reservoir or pump combination for liquid cooling. That's for later. The motherboard is the ASRock AB350 Pro 4 with the AM4 socket for the AMD Ryzen, the Ryzen 7 1700X CPU. That's my processor. Its base clock, if I remember correctly, was 3.4 gigahertz. You can overclock these up to 4.1 gigahertz, but this is an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, so this thing is a monster. See, cooling it right now, I have the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, which is this guy. There we go. This guy right here. As far as air coolers go, it's one of the best on the market. And the thing is it's super cheap. It's only like 30 bucks. I have the 8GB EVGA Superclocked 2 ICX technology GeForce GTX 1080 video card, which is this guy right here. That dude is a beast. Super crazy. Crazy good graphics. All right, so for hard drive, we got a WD Blue, Western Digital Blue, 1 terabyte. It's a 7200 RPM. That's a good mechanical hard drive right there. For RAM or memory, depending on who you are, I have two 2x8 16 gig kits of DDR4 with a base clock of 3000 megahertz, but the Ryzen CPU loves the high frequency, so we overclock these to like 3200. I don't do too much, just to keep the power usage down, and you know, don't want to make any extra heat in there. There's enough heat. And the Cooler Master 650 watt 80 plus bronze rated power supply. It's semi-modular, but it does the job. It does the job. And for my OS and for a couple of other programs, like for school, I have Mastercams on there, and some like driver stuff. I have a 240 gig solid state drive. This is the professional brand. You can get these, I believe, exclusively at Micro Center. It's not the fastest read write. It is pretty good though. The thing is, it's super cheap. That $80 right there, this thing was on sale for 45 bucks. So I was super stoked to get that. So that is my build right there. And as you can see, and unfortunately the lighting in this room is horrible, but this is where I have to do all my build stuff, so that's why we're down here. I've got the 4 sticks of RAM for a total of 32 gigabytes right there. 2 of those sticks are being sold to a buddy of ours named Georgia Boy. Because funny story is I actually went to the store and bought one of the kits And then later on, I bought a second kit from Amazon, and their CAS latency timing is different. So my BIOS doesn't recognize the clock speed on it, and it sets it to the default of 2133 megahertz, which is not bad, but the Ryzen CPU wants more. It wants more. So there's my my GPU, my graphics card, which this I got for like 650 bucks, and that's the MSRP on these ones. But a week later was when cryptocurrency was at or Bitcoin was selling for $18,000, which is really ironic because Bitcoin is not one of the cryptocurrencies that you mine with the GPU. It's not Ethereum or any of those. But the GPU prices, literally a week after I bought this, tripled. So this video card right here, this graphics card, is worth more than the entire system altogether. This is $2,000. I could sell this right now on Craigslist for $2,000. Easy. If you can find one online, you're going to pay $1,800, $1,900. This particular case comes with an intelligent hub, which is back there. That guy has all my fans. These 3 fans right here, and this fan here, all plugged into it. And that hub controls them. Has it on a smart curve, but it also, because it's made by NZXT, also has the NZXT Hue Plus lighting system software in that intelligent hub. So it also controls my one lighting strip that this case came with, and the hard light strip that this case came with. And it syncs them up and gets all my lighting all together and everything. So it's pretty cool. I can do the RGB spectrum, the wave, the marquee, and eagle wings. And, I have over 100. It's 1 million colors because it's RGB. So it goes off the hexadecimal system for the colors and everything. So I got the basement supply shroud right here. And as you can see, it's vented, which is awesome because my power supply is underneath there. It makes a lot of heat. Now, when you get this case, it comes with 3 of these. These are 2.5-inch form factor drive mounts. These are super cool because they're toolless. You just press this button and it mounts to those. So that acts like a mounting system. Let's see if I can coordinate this. There we go. And see if I can do this left-handed. Yeah, see, so you get the one side in there, and as you can see, it just mounts in there. Now, I said it comes with 3, because it also comes with this one that mounts on the front. So this is my solid state drive, my SSD. It's this guy here. I took the sticker off it, so it would just be black. And, because it had an ugly green and white sticker on there. And this cable management bar, as you can see, has my my SATA cable and my my data cable, both coming out of it. So you can barely see it. So when the glass goes on it, you just have a really nice hard drive right there. So that's my build as it stands. And what we're doing is that I'm calling that phase 1 of the build. Presto changeo, through the magic of editing / the pause button. This is phase 2, which is what we're starting today. So this is what we have here. I'm going to actually sit down for this one because I've been at work all day and I'm tired. I bought another gig or another 16 gigs of RAM because I sold the one set to a friend of mine, and this is going to match the set that I'm keeping. So my latency timings are going to be all good and everything. I'll be able to overclock them, as well as the motherboard being able to actually read them. Now, this right here is my baby. This is my new motherboard. This is the MSI Tomahawk Arctic B350 motherboard. This is the motherboard that I wanted when I built this, but I couldn't get a hold of it. So I had to settle for the one that's in there now, which, I mean, it does the job, it works and everything, but this one is white. It's all white. It has a couple of very small, very kind of quiet, low intensity LEDs like in the corners, and there's this vein that runs up the one side of it. So super cool. This board is actually really, really good too, as far as the B350 chipset goes, for graphics and gaming, which I need this more for graphics, but gaming as well, because I'm a gamer, but it's mostly for school. Okay, so the reason this is happening is because there is nobody makes a water block for the graphics card. So I can't build a custom loop in here and include my graphics card. I can do one for the CPU, but not the graphics card. So this is the solution that NZXT came up with, which is pretty cool. And all the reviews and videos and tech tubers that I watch all say that this thing is awesome. It doesn't look the greatest, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, I got it in white, so to go with the build. It's got a 92 millimeter fan on it, and then an AIO cooler, an all-in-one cooler, water block will mount right here and make direct contact to the actual GPU. So that water block, an AIO cooler, is going to be this guy, the H55 from Corsair. If I remember correctly, this is a 140 millimeter radiator and fan combination. God, words, right? I wasn't concerned about this being RGB or lit or anything like that, because it's literally going to be facing down. So you're never ever going to see this. You're just going to see the tubes coming out, the radiator and its fan, but it's going to keep my GPU in the 40°C range. So that's going to mount to that guy, which will mount to my GPU. Well, if I'm water cooling the GPU, I got to do the CPU, right? So I kept it in the family. The NZXT Kraken X52 240 millimeter AIO all-in-one CPU cooler. This is RGB lit. This is controllable, and this does plug in to my smart hub in the case. And so it will sync whatever color scheme I do, whatever lighting pattern I do in the case. This will make that same pattern, which is awesome. So this guy is going to mount to my CPU. And that's what the 91% isopropyl alcohol is for, is to clean off the thermal paste and the coffee filters, because they're lint-free. I also splurged a bit. Oh, and here's the thermal paste that I'll be using for both the CPU and the GPU. This is the Thermal Grizzly Aeronaut thermal interface material, TIM, which is also thermal paste. This stuff is the best thermal paste on the market. This stuff is awesome. And yes, the bag is open. I opened it and made sure it didn't like break in shipping and leak out and everything. So what I splurged on was these guys. This is my cable extension, cable mod kit that unfortunately didn't come combed. I had to buy a comb kit. So I got black combs, so they stand out and look pretty cool. But they're also keeping all the cables in the cable extensions straight and organized and looking awesome. So I got a 24 pin. I got a couple of 6-pin connectors. I got an 8 to 8 PCIe CPU power connector. I've got a couple of 6+2 8-pin connectors for, which are these guys, which are for graphics cards. So they give you 2 in the kit, so that you, and that's also what the 2 6-pins are for. If you're running 1070s or lower, 1070s or lower use 6 pins, I believe. Anything 1080 and above usually uses the 8 pins. Now, if you get to the 1080 Ti and the Titans, they usually use 2 of them, which is why they include 2. And these guys are awesome. They sent a bundle of zip ties for cable management. Not only that, they sent these guys. Yep, there we go. So what this is it's got sticky foam on the back. I peel that off, put this anywhere I want in my case, and then I can run a zip tie through it for cable management. How you like them apples? There's like a dozen of them. I don't know. I didn't count them, but there's a whole lot of them. See, that's 8, 9, 10, so probably 10, yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna change out the motherboard, install the new RAM, get this AIO cooler out of here, get it all cleaned up, reboxed and everything so that I can sell it or use it in either UNC's build or my dad's build or my wife's build, whoever decides they want to build, or I can sell it to somebody who's building and needs an air cooler, which this one is really good. It does have the AM4 socket bracket with it, which is currently on it, but that's coming off. It's going to go back in the box. It is compatible with Intel LG1151, which is your common Intel sockets, and the AM4 sockets. So if you're doing anything current gen, this thing, that's a good cooler. That's a really good cooler. And I believe the brackets for the fan, yeah, they're just screwed in. So you could actually get like an RGB fan or something, or a lit fan, something that has a lit ring in there, or just a stronger static pressure fan for the fin cluster, right? So you get more pressure, or it's lit and matches your build, or lights up your build, or something. So, I mean, this is a super, super cool direct contact air cooler. So, I may be using that in another build. I may sell it, you know, depending on if UNC or my father or my wife want a computer. Because if they do, then save them a few bucks on buying a cooler, and we'll go with that. Because I don't think any one of them are going to want to overclock their system, or, you know, want this like beastly system that I have, which I built for school, because I do 3D rendering and modeling and machining in school. But it also plays video games at an extraordinarily high level, which is awesome. Video games look beautiful on this thing. So that's phase 1 currently. This is phase 2. I'll get a couple videos, vlog style, you know, at the steps and everything. Like, I got to tear everything out of there. You know, put all the new stuff, transfer the old stuff onto the new motherboard, the RAM and the CPU. Get all the bracketry and everything all cleaned up and all that stuff, and then get the motherboard mounted in there. And then I can start with the cooling solutions, with the Kraken cooler for the CPU and the Corsair cooler for the GPU. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm going to work on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.